Dear friends, welcome to Spirituality for Results. Our goal is to serve you by providing practical spirituality for educated people. Our key bullets are simple information, logical, useful, and we are going to use today's language that we use in our professions day to day. We are not going to use any complicated language. The topic for today is a question. Will my religious practices take me to God? And we have all thought about it off and on. So the other questions that come from the main question are, is there a simple and well-defined process? Because everything seems so kind of complicated. Number two, can someone get straight to the point? Please, yes, we will. We are not going to quote scriptures or poetry. We're going to just give you the basic core process, core material. No song and dance. Number three, please cut out the unnecessary and boring details. Yes, we will not get into those. Can you communicate in today's language? Yes, English and pictures. That's what we will use. This is a cautionary note. Please, just to let you know, this is a copyrighted material. Please do not use it for any public use or distribution. You can use it just for yourself or maybe your family and friends, and that's fine. Thank you. At this point, I'd like to make an acknowledgement. These teachings, pictures and charts, that is, were given to me by my spiritual master, Yogananda Paramahansa, using medium of spirit in my meditations. And if you look at the bottom here, there you go. Anyone can learn the art and science of communication in spirit. Anyone. It's not a mystery. I'm not special. I'm just like you folks. There's enough information. One of the workshops, in fact, we will talk about that. The art and science. How can I go all the way to God? Now here are some of the typical issues that people like you and me run. By the way, I'm a professional just like you. I have an engineering degree and an MBA, and I've been working in manufacturing industry in automotives for 34 years. And I had a lot of practical experience, and I can understand the frustrations of our generation, especially when it comes to religion. Sometimes things are far more difficult, but hopefully we'll make it simple for you. One question could be, I've been reading scriptures, doing all my practices, and I still feel stuck. That's an honest assessment on part of some people. Second one could be, I try hard to meet all my religious requirements, but I haven't made much progress in 5 to 10 years, or maybe sometime even more. Then the next one, I've not seen much change in myself. What am I missing? Now, the last one, and a lot of people think, is it that I will reap my benefits after I die? Really? How is that supposed to happen? The person was a pauper till yesterday, and just because he dies, he becomes a multimillionaire overnight after that? I don't buy into that even for a second. Honestly, my experiences have been different. If we understand our religion and we understand our spirituality, it is supposed to help us from where we are standing right now in all practical way. It's supposed to help us in my relationships, in my money-making situations, in problem solving, in my self-esteem, my joy and peace of mind, and also my closeness to God, day to day, practical. Yes, without that, we are missing a lot of things. So, friends, come on in, and we'll continue right after this. Hello, friends. Good morning. Hello, how are you? Aloha. V Gates. Hola. Kaise ho? Sat Sri Akal. Salam alaikum, my friends. So what we're going to talk about today is, what is the core process of going all the way to God, starting from where we are? And I'm grateful for this information that came to about 15, 20 years ago, thanks to my spiritual master. And you will see it's a very simple chart to understand. And if I told you this thing by chanting hundreds of mantras or quoting a lot of scriptures, you probably think that I'm some kind of holy man. No, I'm not a reverend. I'm just an ordinary person just like you. I'm not a reverend, but I consider myself almost respectable. So, the question is, we all go to some temple, some church, and we do practices. People are chanting mantras, doing ceremonies, reading through the scriptures, doing the fasting, going to holy places, visit all these places. And those are all wonderful. And we can pray to masters. We can pray to God in any different way that we want. And that's wonderful. But understand something. We are supposed to be making progress on that path. If you have been doing the same thing over and over and over again for the last 15 or 20 years, you might as well accept it, that you're stuck. That's not the path of true spirituality. That's not the path of masters. That's not goal of all these great masters like Jesus, Guru Nanak, Yogananda, Saint Germain, Saint Augustine, and to mention a whole lot of other masters all over the world. And by the way, we are not going to talk to you about any religion, and we are not going to push you towards one religion or the other. And we are not going to try to convert you. No way. We honor and respect the path and the religion that you follow. But as professionals, can we please talk in English? I'm going to talk about something that's common to all religions, and we all use it. Just like practicing medicine, practicing law, or practicing engineering, or being a nurse, or being an architect. You know what I'm talking about? At that point, we don't argue about what's going on because we have a standard process. We have an understanding. We go to training to understand how to do our jobs. It's the same way. Let's come together and try to understand what is that core process. And I can tell you, the picture I'm going to share with you totally changed my life forever. And I humbly come to you as a friend, as a brother, as a son, as an uncle, whatever you accept me as. I'm sharing this information because it has changed my life. And I've been guided to start sharing these informations with as many people as I can. So if you benefit from it, please do share with other people, your family, your friends. Tell them about this video. And the simple way to find these videos, and we'll be doing many more of this kind. You go to YouTube and type in the search box spirituality. Number 4, results. All one word, no gaps. And you'll see all these videos on different topics. And you can take advantage of it, enrich your life, empower yourself. Make your dreams come true. Because believe me, you guys work very hard on your jobs. Also, if you are really sincere about God, I can tell you will never be disappointed. Never be disappointed. Let's not fight about religions. That's a very immature discussion. I think what we want to do is understand our own religion and go deeper and take full advantage of it by becoming a wonderful example for others to see that this person really loves God. And you don't have to go anywhere. You can do it right there in your families, right here, doing all the wonderful jobs that you all do. Okay? Now, one more thing. We have no intentions of selling anything to you. We have no intentions of converting. There's no fine print. No products we are selling. You don't have to make commitment to anything. You're doing it with an attitude of service with love. Only to share if it helps to improve your life, your family's life, your friend's life. That's all pleasure is. I'm very lucky for this information and very grateful to all the masters. I'm very respectful to all the masters of all religions all over the world. Thank you. Now, let me get to the slide. Okay, friends, here we go. This is the slide. Now, let me explain how this works. On the left side, this is human being, feeling separated from God and everybody else. On the right side, a person is merging into God. This is a kind of situation where Jesus said, God and I are one. That state of being. And what here we have, on the red line here, this is ego. How much ego a person has. The goal is to reduce it from 100%. A human being starts with 100% ego and is supposed to reduce to 0%. Now, that's the goal. Now, on the other side, the green line is the surrender. Surrender is supposed to go from 0% to 100%. So what it means, when ego becomes 0, your surrender to God becomes 100%. That's when you can say you are merging into God, or you have merged into God. So, what happens is, if you see where these two lines meet, that's what is called the 50% point. Which means that's where your ego is about 50% and your surrender is also 50%. Your surrender is not complete. So, what happens is, if you look at the left side of the screen, basically this area, you see what a person does, basic spiritual practices. Let me see if I can expand it so you can see better. Is that better? Okay. See, basic spiritual practices, rituals, dogmas, mental reading of scriptures, mentally, which means your heart is not involved in them yet, and much less you're not practicing them yet, but you're just in a process of memorizing scriptures. Of course, you're visiting holy shrines. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's just where everybody starts. But think about it. It's mostly external work. You're consistently doing pujas and you're doing confessions. You're doing your readings of scriptures regularly. You may be doing yoga practices, some kriya practices, etc., etc. They all come in this group. Now, imagine if the goal is to have a car in this area and you're going to drive all the way up, and that's where you want to go. You start from here. It's in the beginning. So these practices are like doing the external work. Like, for example, I get my car washed regularly. I get my oil changed regularly. I get once a year maintenance check. I guess the tires rotated, that kind of stuff. We do it regularly, but mostly it's external stuff. Now, on the right side is the mostly internal work. What I'm talking about, if your car, you can get your car washed all day, forever. But that does not guarantee that it's not going to have problems. What if the engine light comes on? What if the internal of the car is not working, like heating is not working? Or you get some warning signs, or you start seeing smoke coming out inside the compartment. Those are all internal issues, right? So you do the things, but I want to caution you, just doing basic spiritual practices is not going to get you home. At the most, it's going to get you is to 50% point. You cannot go beyond this. Because, think about it, one of the biggest basic problems with human existence is when you are doing practices, you say, I'm doing my puja. I'm reading my scriptures. I'm doing my practices. I'm doing my yoga. You have the I in the front. That's your ego. As long as you feel that you are doing this and you're doing this and you're doing this, and if you feel separated from God because you are here, the 50% point, the progress is to go from here all the way to the right. You're stuck at a 50% point. And I know many people who are very religious people, but they're stuck. Now let's think about it for a second. What really is holding them back? So let's look at the right side of the screen. I'll get it. Okay. Can you see it better now? Okay. The right side of the screen, we're talking about transformation of heart. A person's heart has to be clean. That's internal work. If you got anger, fear, anxiety, jealousy, guilt, shame, all these negative emotions in your heart, you don't have a clean heart. You need to go work on them, work on those issues and get them out till your heart is clean. Then the mind has to be renewed, renewal of the mind, which means I was running with old information and making a lot of mistakes, creating a lot of internal pollution. And unless I have renewed my mind based on my practices and understanding, newer understanding, my mind is still running under the old management. It's not going to work. Then mastery of worldly matters. And why that is important? Because we all have up and down forces acting on us. When you practice your spirituality, when you do your rituals, when you do your prayers and meditations, you are pulled up. But if you're not going to be able to take care of your business, your home, your family, and the issues of the world like relationship, money, home, car, job, business, etc., if you're not going to take care of them, it'll continuously bug you and bother you, and you'll be pulled down. So don't you ever think that you're going to go to God with all these problems on your mind. You cannot. Because as long as you have problems in your mind and heart, you're always going to be polluted. Then, other thing which is very important is forming a personal, deep relationship with a spiritual master. I know I didn't believe in a master, but I understand the essence of it. Because what really happens when you meet a master is like finding somebody so close to your mother and father, a loving person who loves you unconditionally. And in reality, the master is at least 1,000,000 times more powerful and loving than your human parents are. So, it's not just enough to say, okay, I read Yogananda's teaching, or I read Jesus' book, or I read the Course in Miracles. That will not do. Because unless you have a relationship with the Master, you're going to miss out something really big. And you know what that is? First of all, Holy Spirit and Shakti and supernatural help, you're going to miss out on. Because a true master, and I'm talking first-class masters, not gas station gurus, high-quality masters like Jesus Christ, Yogananda, Guru Nanak, Saint Germain, Shirdi Sai Baba, Bangalore Sai Baba, those are great masters. Mother Meera, those masters are empowered with the supernatural power of God. Because after achieving their mastery, God gives them that power. And when they can touch you, they can look at you and place the supernatural grace through the power of Holy Spirit. That can make big differences inside of you, inside your mind and heart, in less than a minute. You may not make as much progress just by following spiritual practices. And I'm not saying they're not necessary. They are. But if all you have done is just the basic stuff, you have not formed a personal relationship with a master, you're going to miss it. You're not going to go anywhere. And also, it's important to master the inner issues and discomforts. Like when you have fears, when you have strange dreams, we have a lot of discomforts. Where do you go talk about those things? Don't you think they are causing a lot of problems inside your heart? They are like a computer bug or viruses that are causing a lot of damage to your inside. And remember, God will not come in your heart unless you are quiet and clean. I mean, to invite your best friends, or you're throwing a party, you spend a lot of time cleaning up the house. And what makes you think God will come into your heart with all the garbage and pollution in there? So that has to be worked out. And the key is that you have to be able to communicate with the Master and form a deep personal relationship. And how it works, my brothers and sisters, is that you have a love relationship. Obviously, you don't want to get hooked up with a hanky-panky master, somebody very high-quality person who's not ever going to ask you to do anything illegal, immoral, or going to use any kind of force. And he will prove to you that he or she is connected with God. That's the kind of masters I'm talking about. So the process is simple. You have a master, and then you have to merge into your master. It's such a powerful love relationship. You have to merge into your master. What does that mean? Merging means you dissolve your ego into your master. And your master will destroy your ego slowly. And when you merge into him, then at that point he or she says, wow, I was not the goal. The goal is God. Look, the one who's standing behind me. and then you experience godliness. Yes, you can. I am not talking about something from a book or artificial or imaginary. I'm talking about practical things. Yes, I've had many experiences like this, many on a daily basis. And I know many people following this process have made it. It can be done. And I'm not talking to something out of any fiction or some story somebody made up. I'm talking practical stuff. Don't forget, I'm an engineer. And I've had a lot of practical experiences. My interest in spirituality and religion was only with one intention. What will it do for me? It has done a lot for me. I wasn't even looking. And I have seen thousands and thousands of miracles. I still see them. We have a spiritual family here in Detroit. Most of them see miracles every day, every day. So don't be surprised. Just open up and give God a chance. Don't forget to pray. Don't forget to do your spiritual practices. But most important, build a deep personal relationship with your spiritual master so he or she can release the supernatural power that will blow out all the garbage inside your body, mind, heart, and soul. That is one of the fastest ways of going towards God. Okay? So thank you very much. I hope you use this information wisely. Spread it around. We love you. We thank you. And until next video, we see you later. I am Narendra, signing off from Detroit.